justice. The city is wise if the rulers are wise. The city is courageous if the guardians are courageous. The city is moderate if everyone agrees that the rulers should rule and there's no proletariat uprising or equality movement coming out of the producers. And the city is just if all the parts agree that they should just do their jobs and let everyone else get on with theirs. Justice isn't its own virtue, it's a balance, a harmony between these three other virtues: wisdom, courage, and moderation. And so it is with people. Plato thinks that the soul is tripartite. It has three parts: reason, spirit, and appetite. A person is wise if reason is the bit of their soul that controls all the rest. They are courageous if the spirit aids and obeys the reason. Plato saw spirit not the way we might see spirits, but as a kind of animating force. Spirit is the thing that moves you with a particular link to your emotions. It's the motivating part of your soul that isn't rational. And a person is moderate if the appetite is controlled and reined in by reason and spirit. Appetite is like the bodily desires: food, sex, pleasure, that sort of thing. Just as an aside, we've already got wisdom and courage. If you think of moderation as like control, like power over yourself, then we have wisdom, power, and courage, and this tripartite distinction starts to sound a little bit familiar. And a person is just if the three parts of their soul do their jobs without jostling for position. Just like in the city, it's a harmony, it's a balance between the three aspects of yourself. So remember, the challenge was to show that being just is good in itself. This shows it. Justice is a harmony between the three parts of your soul. The unjust person might get all these material rewards, but at the expense of their internal balance. For Plato, being just is like being physically healthy. Nobody would willingly give that up, so it must be valuable in itself. And that's a lightning fast summary of books 1 to 4 of the Republic. I skipped over a lot of the details and I left out a lot of stuff and just gave you the basics because it is really long and it is a lot more complex than that, but that's the basic gist of it. And now some quick critical thoughts. You might have noticed that Plato has a habit of pulling really important things out of his arse and then just basing the rest of the system on it. Like this whole idea that there are 4 cardinal virtues. Where did that come from? Why 4? Why are they those ones? And this idea that the soul is tripartite. We might be more inclined to say mind nowadays when Plato said soul, but how does this tripartite distinction fit with the models of modern psychology? And is it true that nobody would give up their physical health or their soul balance for any reason? Like if somebody said, I will give you £1 billion for your non-dominant hand, would you not be a little bit tempted? And a big question that lots of philosophers have worried about: is the analogy between the city and the soul legit? Is justice between people the same as justice inside people? What do you guys think? What do you make of Plato's Republic? Is being just good in itself? Send me your questions, comments, queries, and comebacks underneath the video on Facebook, Twitter, or by email. Next week we could either do some aesthetics and ask, is beauty in the eye of the beholder? Or we could ask, was the universe designed? Subscribe to join the PhilosopherFans, and leave a like if you enjoy the music of Starship! Many, many minds left many, many comments underneath our last episode, so let's see what the PhilosopherFans had to say about Cartesian dualism. Joel Di Nicola said that existence feels like being inside a body looking out. It feels like there's a split between the two. I'm imagining the little alien guys from Men in Black. Actually, one of the big criticisms leveled against Descartes is that existence doesn't feel like that. When you stub your toe, for instance, it's not like, you know, the captain receiving the damage report in the ship. It's like, it's more direct. It's like, ow, that hurt me directly. If you feel dissociated from your body, then maybe you should talk to a psychiatrist. In any case, how we feel about the mind-body split doesn't necessarily have a bearing on what is the case. Otherwise, we wouldn't need to do any philosophy about it. Dominic Skeenken indulged in a little epistemic skepticism and said that, well, we can't ever really know the properties of a thing, so how come we can use Leibniz's law? Surely Leibniz's law is useless, right? Well, I won't go into a rant here about when it's appropriate to be epistemically skeptical, because I've already posted about that on the Facebook page. I would say that maybe you could say Leibniz's law isn't appropriate here, because if Descartes is supposed to be doubting everything, then how come he's not doubting the veracity of his perceptions about mind and body that he's using to make this split? You couldn't ever say that Leibniz's law was totally useless, though, because it is actually a logical axiom. It's a necessary truth. If you express it in formal logic, it looks like this. That probably looks like gobbledygook to most people, but basically what it means is if two things are the same, they are the same. You can't really get around Leibniz's law without contradicting yourself. Secret World Leader said that everything in the world is physical. Numbers. Jose Maria Ruiz asked, if you copy a song into two different devices, haven't you then got like one thing, but it's extended in two different locations in space? So it's one thing, but it's got different properties, so surely it's two things? I think the key word there is the word copy. In those circumstances, philosophers would say that you've got two tokens of the same type. You've got two things that are very similar, but they're not actually one thing. Like identical twins, they are identical in the sense of being qualitatively identical, but they're not numerically identical. Ostilabonte said that there's no point asking the question because it has no practical applications. That comment made me really very sad. Truth is always valuable in itself, not because of what you can do with it. That's what philosophy is all about. If anybody out there thinks that truth is only instrumentally valuable and never intrinsically valuable, then feel free to go, because you are breaking my heart. That's all we've got time for this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!